I am Anedra Eatman, and I am the Vice President of Human Resources and Customer Experience for TGG Solutions. So when I was thinking about that question, it really made me think about a couple things. I kicked off what I call monthly check-ins for our performance review, because I'm one of those people that believe at the end of the year, nobody should be knowing that they were having issues and troubles at the end of the year in their review. This is a conversation that should be taking place during the year, not at the end of the year when we're getting ready to talk about compensation. And so I kicked off, I did some research and learned that high quality performing associates or employees, they want to know what's going on. They want to be checked in. They want to know if they're doing well, what they can do better. They want to know what other feedback is going on around them, things to that nature. They want to have that personal touch with their management team member. So that's when I found that research that it's just once a month. I was like, oh, we're not even doing that at all. Like, it was hit or miss. And there were some teams that were consistent and others were not. But I needed to make it a corporate thing. And so we came up with the performance monthly check-ins at least once a month. But then I decided this past year, I wanted to take it a step further with my management team members, right? So from that entry level, you at least get a monthly check-in. If you're at Human Resources, my team, I check in with them probably once a week because the movement, right? We touch everybody. So it's a little different. But then I decided to create what I call breaking bread with Anedra. And that is time where you get one-on-one with me. I was taking folks out to lunch and then the pandemic hit. So then they get a $20 Panera gift card. But that's time where we get to talk about what pain points are you having. Maybe you're not comfortable sharing that with your director, and that's okay. You're gonna tell me. And I'm gonna filter out and I'm gonna help you navigate these conversations. What is it that we're missing? Maybe from an HR standpoint or from a project management standpoint or another department, we're missing some things. What is that? This is your candid opportunity to just dump and talk to me about it. But then you get a takeaway. We talk about being smarter with your goals. We get to talk about maybe what you're not achieving from a standpoint from your quarterly goals. We get to talk about all those things. And so that's what creates that day-to-day for us, is checking in and understanding, recognizing the value of having those conversations with our associates. Oh goodness. So have you heard of Strength Finders? So Strength Finders is what we have found that really, really helped us navigate our culture to a lens of, yes, we have all these great strengths, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the test gives you like 19, spits out 19 or 20 of them, maybe 25. But the point is, can you live in all of those? Can you do all of that? No. So we decided to take out and do the top 5. We're going to focus on our top 5 because those are what you really can focus in and how you can fill your passion bucket and purpose, right? And so that's what we've launched across our entire organization, and making sure people feel confident, they feel supported. We created a 360 culture model that provides expectation. It provides accountability. What does that look like from accountability standpoint? Support from a resource or tool standpoint, and then feedback. Having that opportunity to give candid feedback, right? It's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. And I think people forget to put that little light bulb on. And so that's what has helped our team and our organization really navigate, is having those opportunities to live in their top 5s, knowing what their strengths are. How do I work with somebody who lives in responsibility? One of their top 5 is responsibility. How do I work with somebody who one of their top 5 is strategic, right? So learning how to work with your team members, and especially from a management standpoint, is key, because I have now been equipped on how to work with each one of my team members based on their top 5 and their strengths, so that I don't put something on them, a project, or give them a task that they just are not going to succeed in, right? They're going to totally fail at it because that's not a strength of theirs. That's what we've been doing and implementing. Like for me, I thought for sure I had strategy. Nowhere near it.
Really? That's
no,
my number one.
That's not mine. Belief is mine. Makes sense though, because purpose, values, those all speak to me. And so I was like, okay, but my HR business partner has strategic, so I don't have to have it, because I can tap into him and he's going to help me drive some strategies and pull that out.
In your team.
relationship building is so key. And I think that the pandemic for me personally has said that you need to have that with your management, your teams, and understanding them, right? Because that's gonna be the best way that you can work with, collaborate, and team up. I also have a little saying that I share with my management team. You can have feelings, you just can't live there. Because I've learned that when I don't live in my feelings, I'm more productive. I don't take things personal. I'm really driven on the business, trying to get us there to our goals and accomplish those goals. How can I be a better servant leader? And so you can have feelings because we are human, right? We can't take that component away from us. But over the years, what I've learned is that I can't live in my feelings. I can have them, I just can't stay there. I don't respond to a rational email. If you send me something crazy, I'll let it sit there until I'm ready to respond to it. Things to that nature, like really taking it from a lens of don't be so quick to respond when you're in an emotional state. Recognize that you're emotional, recognize that you have feelings, but then how are you gonna move forward? Let's have a healthy conversation and move forward with that. You know how many people could have self-destruct because they live in their feelings and they start to do what I call the assumption, and you start assuming things, right? You're thinking somebody's talking about you. You're thinking somebody's going behind your back and saying things, and you walk into the front desk area and two people are talking, but you were late, you didn't communicate or something. And you're in your feelings that, oh my gosh, I didn't do this. So you're automatically assuming they're talking about your situation. They're talking about the next work meeting. But that's what happens when we get in our place of feelings and we're not dealing with whether it's home life or work life, whatever it is, we're not dealing with it. Then we start to self-destruct. And that's real. I've seen it. I've been in HR for 20 years. I've seen people self-destruct. I almost self-destructed. Being flexible, right? Understanding that things are going to move and shift and change. And how do you navigate with that? Mindset, life learner attitude is another one. I think that we just, can hang it up and think that we know everything or want to know everything. Have a healthy, distinguish between the two, and understanding that some things you just don't want to know and some things are on a need to know basis. But as you become a life learner, what comes to you is what you need to know, right? What addresses you or what finds you, go ahead and go with that. But don't look for everything or try to be the one that knows everything, because not everything is meant for you to know, because some things could hurt you. So I think people need to understand that. That's been a value add for me personally. And then and they will tell you I'm all about living in purpose, right? So I didn't know that, HR was going to be my one-stop shop for my career, but I knew I enjoyed being around people. I knew I enjoyed reading. I knew I enjoyed helping others and serving, volunteering, all those things. I knew I enjoyed that, but I didn't know I was going to be so fulfilled in human resources. And there's a way that the Father just will align your purpose with your giftings as well, right? So I'm gifted in administration. I'm gifted in human resources, meaning these things they're not hard for me. They come naturally for me because that's a gifting of mine. But my purpose is serving people, making sure people feel empowered, encouraged, and I get to do that every day. I always say I'm putting out fires, but I love it. And my management team, they cracked me up because they said, oh, thank you for the counseling session. And my response now is, okay, I'll send you my invoice. But little do they know, they inspire me and they keep me going because I'm living in my purpose. This fills my passion bucket. I love it. And that's what you want to be able to do, is say, I love my job. I love my career. I love what I'm doing. And when you do that and you show up to work, do you know what type of productivity you're putting out for the organization? That eventually speaks to revenues later. You may not really see how it connects, but it does. It does. When you show up 100% ready to live in your purpose and be in alignment with the company's vision, mission, values, and purpose statement, it takes you so much further. It makes coming to work easy. And you get paid for it, right? So I get to show up to a place that I'm being fulfilled from a servant leadership standpoint, in addition to getting a paycheck for it. but this is just what I love to do. This is what I enjoy. Yes, I like corporate America. I like showing up to meetings. I like talking about things. I like having the coffee. I like those. There's nothing wrong with that. It's exciting for me. So yeah, you get to show up and feel like you're doing something, like you're a value add to the organization. That's what I like. I'm one of those persons that believe that we all should be doing some type of professional development on an annual basis, because I get it. We have so many different projects and goals or things that we want to accomplish. But one of my mentors, the best thing she could have said is, if you don't create your goals, the world will, right? It'll create it for you. And so for me, I make sure my team, we have a conversation annually. What does that look like for you? What conference do you want to attend next year? Whether it be SHRM from a professional development standpoint. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily need to be all professional development. It could be that just needing to listen to a conference, or going and listening to a podcast, or even a conference where they're just pouring into you because you need some energy, right? You need some reminders of your purpose and why you're there. And so that's what I remind my team, is to make sure they are fulfilling their professional development components, but not just to check it off a box. Not just to, I don't want us to waste, we want to be good stewards with our finances, right? So what is going to fill you, and what are you going to take away from that? And then for me, from a personal level, I'm always looking to do a better job of improving myself. So I had an opportunity to attend University of South Florida's DEI certificate program this past 7 weeks, and it was a free course. Okay, and I think sometimes people think when they get free, it's not going to be as great. No, free is sometimes the better courses, because they are being intentional with the information. And I loved it, and it was so informing and so refreshing for me. I just learned so much, and then at the end of it, I get a certificate. And so I love when things find me or find my team, and then I can share that with others to say, hey, I think this may be beneficial for you, the same way something came to me and was beneficial for me. So I'm all about making sure my team knows that I support them with professional development. And another thing that I try to make sure we do is align it with our focus plan, and that's what we have. So some folks have corporate strategies. We have a corporate strategy in addition to focus plans, and we get in alignment with that. So when we're trying to do our community initiatives, well, what does that look like? When we are looking at wellness and making sure our employees feel like they have access to not only the YMCA, but also blood drive clinics, right? So what does that look like, and how are we doing our best job to give them everything that they need? I wish somebody would have told me early on to seek my purpose. Yeah, it's cool to find your way, but it's also nice to have somebody there to help guide you. So I would say seek a mentor. Like, what does that look like for you? Tap into somebody. If it's a career, if it's, creatives you guys are unique. And I say that because you are unique. You find things, you navigate in different ways, where those of us we have creative lower at the bottom of our scale. We just navigate in a different way. And so I would say to that younger generation is to be open to listening and to hear what a mentor has to say. Receive it, because the time and effort that they put into you is valuable. Like I said, if I could go back and find me a mentor, that would have did me a great justice to help me feel that purpose and find my purpose, which eventually led to me feeling like my passion bucket is being filled. And that's key. When you don't know your purpose, you don't know, and you're seeking it, and you don't have anybody to help guide you, you go wherever. And that's why having a mentor is so important, because they help you get back on. Not a mom, not your dad, not a brother or sister. I'm talking about somebody that you're either attracted to what we call their flow, how they work, their work ethic. You're attracted to even maybe how they're financially stable, right? Whatever it is that's attracting you to them, then you need to tap into them and find out from them, how did they get where they are? and they can help navigate you and help get you along the way. And then you have somebody to refer back to and to keep you in alignment, right? Because that's what mentors do. We will tell you, hey, that's not a good look. Or, hey, I thought you were talking about this. Where did this come from? And challenge some of those questions and help direct you with your goals. But having a mentor is key. It is so key and it's so important because they're going to help you find your purpose quicker, but also help you find what fills your passion bucket. Yeah, I love the questions too because they help pull out what we're trying to get for this next generation. Because I think just to kind of piggyback off of that, they think just texting is okay, and it's like, no, you got to pick up the phone and talk to people, right? Have that conversation. Did you communicate? Did you communicate to them that you were going to be 10 or 15 minutes late? One of my former pastors, Pastor Jerome Glenn, one of the best advice that he could have ever given to me in one of our trainings, that leadership trainings, was to be on time is to be late. And so for me, I'm always, as you can see, 5-10 minutes early. I'm not on time. I'm never there at 10 o'clock because I need to make sure that I'm showing up ahead of time because something could have changed. Right? Anything could have changed. And if I'm going to run late, then I need to communicate that. I need to make sure I'm having those healthy conversations and communicating. And I think that younger generation, or that the generation behind me, I'll say that, they forget that and they think just texting or, things like that is just going to be the end all. Social media, be mindful of your social media and what you're putting out there. As much as people say, well, they shouldn't be looking at it, they do. And people do make judgments, right? It's the new way of not seeing you, but seeing you. I didn't get to meet you in person yet, but I've met a form of you. Is that the form of you want me to meet and know? Who am I meeting right now when I see your social media page? Be mindful of that.